Hello, I'm Frank Hanaway, and welcome to Big Journey, Small Steps. Well, I just got back a week or so ago from a retreat in California. Actually, it's been 2 weeks now. Boy, I've been really busy. And I had talked about it in a video before I went. It was called a Setu Retreat. And so I thought I'd share a little bit about what my retreat was about and how it impacted my life. So Setu means the bridge, and this retreat was about the bridge between this life and the next, and preparing for that transition. My cremation is paid for. I have advanced medical directives that I carry around with me. I have a healthcare surrogate. I have a living will. I've done all those things, all those practical things about my death, because I do get it. And I think that's something that it came to me really strongly while I was taking care of Mom, and so many people passed away around me, that finally at a certain point in your life, you get it, that you are going to pass away at some point, that you're going to shed your body. That's the way I look at it. And I believe with my whole heart that there's a part of me that is going to live on, and there's some sort of, and death is just a transition into another existence. But I don't know that I thought much about that transition and what I wanted for that. So the retreat was for people 65 and older, or in some cases, if somebody has a life-threatening illness, I think they include them if they call and ask. It's for people who practice passage meditation, which I've practiced for 9.5 years. It was so meaningful for me, so deep and so significant. Just the very first session that we had, when we went around the room and shared with each other, it was so interesting to see that who had been called to this retreat, who had felt the need to come, and they're all passage meditators, of course, but the different things people had going on in their lives, medical problems with children, all kind of things. And yet we got there to talk about how can we make our lives, the end of our lives, more significantly spiritual. One of the things we do in passage meditation, besides meditate, is repeat a mantra. And a mantra is a short prayer. In the United States, we usually say mantra, but mantra is also correct. And my teacher was a Sanskrit scholar, and so I say it the way he said it. So we repeat a mantra, and I've done that since, actually I started that back in the early 90s, but I've been more serious and more regular about it since I started passage meditation. And the mantra that I use is Rama, which means he who brings joy. And that's how I see God, as the one that brings us joy. So I repeat it a lot, not as much as I wish I did, but a lot. I repeat it when I get up first thing in the morning. I try when my feet hit the floor, or even before, to start saying it in my mind. I say it when I'm taking a shower or scrubbing my teeth, or sitting in the bathroom, or when I'm sweeping or vacuuming, or today I was at the dentist, and while I was in the dentist chair, it focuses your mind on something, and you're not making all these mental constructs about what's going on in your mouth. One thing I realized was that the mantra is going to be my touchstone. It's going to be my lifeline when I'm passing from this existence to the next one. And that if I can learn to repeat it constantly, that I'll have that to hold on to as I'm going through this dying process. Now, this is not, every religion has some evidence of mantra. there's the Jesus prayer, which was developed in the Greek Orthodox Church. And when I was a practicing Catholic, my spiritual advisor had written a book about the Jesus prayer. And it was my mother's mantra. And she meditated, and that was the mantra she chose, was the Jesus prayer. To me, they all point to the same thing. So it's not just confined to Hinduism or Buddhism. There are Islamic mantras, Jewish mantras. Every great religion, there's something. And some of them, for people who are uncomfortable with the idea of a personal God, there are some that are really generic, like the Buddhist one, which is Om Mani Padme Hum, which means Hail, Jewel of the Lotus, which is, pretty amorphous. But anyway, it's very important and to me, and so I'm working on that. The other thing that we worked on was turning our 24-hour clock is to fill in the gaps between our spiritual practices. At some point in my life, I realized church on Sunday wasn't enough for me. That to do one thing once a week was not in my life spiritual practice. So I've been trying over the years through meditation. I meditate twice a day. I say the mantra whenever I can. But there are other things that we do in passage meditation that I'm trying to fill in the whole circle of the day with. So that in this last part of my life, and yes, I know I'm sure I probably have at least 20 more years, but I'm through working. This is what retirement means to me. My chance for deeper, consistent spiritual practice. We also learned about sharing what you want done at the time of death with your loved ones. And so I prepared this envelope. Some people have a bag. I prepared this envelope, and it has instructions in it on what I would like done. It asks that whoever finds this, or I have friends that I've shared this with, who more than likely would be with me if I was dying, and it tells them what to do. I want somebody to say the mantra out loud where I can hear it. And in here it says what my mantra is and how to pronounce it. And it also says, if you're uncomfortable saying this, could you please say, just call God's name in whatever way is comfortable for you. If you want to just say God, God, or Jesus, Jesus, or Allah, Allah, whatever, I'll know what you're doing. I'll know what you're doing, and it will comfort me. So anyway, I didn't mean to make this morbid. I just thought I would share it with you, because when I came back, the first thing that happened was I had a friend who was actively dying. She passed away 2 days after I got back. And I knew she was sick. We've been going through it for the past year, and I knew her condition had worsened. And when I got back from my retreat, I could see she had lost some ground, but she was still talking. That was like on a Thursday I saw her. When I saw her on Friday, she was almost unable to speak, and within 24 hours she had passed away. Those last 2 times I spent with her were so precious, because I had some idea in my mind what to do. And she loved the Bible, and she talked a lot about the Bible, and I talked about it with her. And I knew her favorite Psalms, and so I read those out loud to her, and I just tried to give her my full attention when I was with her. And in my mind, I was saying my mantra. It's a great honor to share part of people's last moments, even though I was not with her at the very end. But I have been there for my father and my brother. My mother tricked us. But it's like it must be what birth is like. It's this precious spiritual moment. I guess what I wanted to do in this video was convey to you that that's on my mind. It gives me joy to plan to make God a part of my dying. I guess it's as simple as that. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you and yours and the whole world peace and joy.